The Coalition for Good Governance (CGG) has accused the National Assembly of embarking on what's described as a voyage of legislative rascality, recklessness and lawlessness over its move to consider a central gaming bill in defiance of a subsistent Supreme Court judgment. Speaking at a press conference in Lagos, the group's convener, Nelson Ikujumi, said the National Assembly's attempt to reintroduce legislation on lottery and gaming directly contradicts the 2024 Supreme Court ruling, which nullified the National Lottery Act 2005 and restricted the federal jurisdiction to the Federal Capital Territory. It stated that the National Assembly's move to pass the Central Gaming Bill is unconstitutional and amounts to an assault on legislative integrity, national security, and democracy. He cited the Supreme Court's judgment of November 22, 2024, which held that the National Assembly lacked powers to legislate on lottery and gaming for the entire federation, except for the Federal Capital Territory, pointing out the ruling followed a suit filed by the Lagos State and 21 other states challenging the federal government's power to regulate lotteries nationwide. Ikujumi demanded an immediate halt to what it termed the illegal and unconstitutional voyage of legislative rascality and called on the Senate to decline concurrence with the bill.
Our demands an immediate stop to this illegal and unconstitutional voyage of legislative rascality and lawlessness by the Senate. Two, an unreserved apology to the people of Nigeria by the House of Representatives for the assault on legislative integrity, honor, the constitution, democracy, and national security by the irresponsible and unconstitutional passage of the vexatious and illegal bill. Comrades, ladies and gentlemen, the Senate now has the golden opportunity afforded by a press conference here today of laying bare the matter to retrace the step of being related on a voyage of legislative rascality and lawlessness by declining concurrence to the central gaming bill as it does not deserve the Senate's requisite resolution.
Now, the civil society themselves have the duty and the government have the duty to monitor what the legislature has been saying. In this regard, the legislature is overstepping its bounds. So, any responsible civil society organization must point out that infraction.
The Nigerian Institution of Surveyors (NIC) says that the surveyors has a great role to play in assessing the flooding situation in any part of the country in view of the data surveyors provide. The Vice Chairman of the Lagos State branch of NIS, Surveyor Olukayode Ogundare, stated this while speaking in an interview on the roles of surveyors in mapping risk zones in Nigeria at the Mori Radio Vision Plaza in Ikeja, Lagos. He said the surveyors provide data and useful information so needed to examine the flood situations, pointing out that such data provide information on the terrain of low-lying areas. Surveyors Ogundare explained that information provided by the surveyors enabled authorities to caution citizens against erecting structures in water-lodged areas.
Flood risk zone, surveyor also play vital roles. Yes, in Nigeria. One, we play roles in prediction stage. You know, when you give information about terrain configurations and they analyze it, you'll be able to see, there's what we call digital terrain model. You'll be able to see areas that are low. You'll be able to see the flow patterns of water. And with that, you'll be able to analyze, oh, this place, people should not build here because this will obstruct the flow. This place is going to be deposition of water, and it can lead to submerge of farmland or submerge of properties. So we will give those information based on terrain analysis. So also survey can as well, when it happens, we call it impact assessment. it is the responsibility of surveyor to map out. We have what we call drone mapping. When there is a flood area, surveyor can fly drones, collect information, data that will tell you, oh, these are the people that are affected. These are the extent of the flood. These are the loss that we have suffered. The surveyor will provide those data to give that information for necessary interventions. Also, when after it happens, surveyor has the capability to provide data and information that will mitigate the future occurrence.
Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba Land, Iba Gani Adams, has urged the federal government to grant a 5% tax waiver to corporate organizations willing to sponsor initiatives in cultural promotions, sports, education, and charity. Speaking in Lagos on Monday during a briefing on the forthcoming 2025 Local World Festival, the chief promoter of the Local Festival Foundation, who was represented by National Publicity Secretary Odo People's Congress OPC, Barrister Peter Oguntimile, said that such a policy would ease the government's burden in meeting citizens' social and developmental needs. Iba Adams also appealed to government at all levels to create programs that engage the youths, helping them stay away from social vices and channel their energy into productive ventures. Commending traditional rulers across the Yoruba land for their efforts in sustaining the local cultural festivals, he encouraged others to follow suit by identifying and celebrating festivals tied to their community heritage. He further stressed that religious affiliation should not hinder the cultural celebration, noting that preserving cultural identity is vital regardless of one's faith background.
Binding the Yoruba people. I use this occasion to appeal to other traditional rulers who are yet to join the moving train to also choose one or two festivals known within their heritage and start celebrating them. This should be done irrespective of their background on religion. Religious affiliation should not affect the celebration of our culture. There is a sharp difference between culture, tradition, and religion. Some of the benefits of promoting culture and festivals is that it would boost commerce and popularize their domains as tourism destinations. There would also be spiritual gains from their ancestors. The festival celebrations would also draw sons and daughters of such places to start visiting home regularly.
About calling all the three religions together, bringing them together to offer prayer, peace in Lagos, and for our economy to keep going forward so that we can all enjoy the goodness of God.
The Ikorodu Metro Lions Club District 404A3 Nigeria has reaffirmed its commitment to executing community projects that will make a direct and lasting impact on the lives of citizens. The district governor, District 404A3 Nigeria, Lion Mary Onu, made this known during the investiture of the newly inducted president, Lion Olatunji Azeez Dugbe, where she urged humanitarian organizations to collaborate with government in bringing relief and joy to the less privileged within their communities. Lion Onu charged the members to integrity and dedication that have defined the Lions Club legacy over the years. In his inaugural address, Lion Olatunji Azeez pledged to focus his administration on expanding the club's service project and strengthening partnership with local government bodies and community groups to increase outreach and effectiveness. The guest speaker, Dr. Bola Adewara, in his motivational talk on leadership, reminded members that genuine transformation stems not only from technology, but from the adaptation of innovation to real-life challenges. He urged Lions to become people with smart hearts by initiating a positive change within their immediate communities. The chairman of the event, Professor Rahman Raphael Afonja, represented by Dr. Olamipose Adekunle, commended the club's sustained commitment to humanitarian service. He cited the funding of over 10 cataract surgeries and distribution of more than 100 eyeglasses as clear evidence that voluntary efforts remain a vital complement to government initiatives in improving lives.
We all know that times are hard, the economy is difficult, and government is trying. But government can't do everything. That is where humanitarian clubs come into play, particularly our club, the Lions Club. We step into the shoes to buffer that gap between what the government is able to do and what the people need. And we're able to support thousands and millions of people locally and globally.
Our members key into our administration's budget and effort to transform the society via service to humanity. We are going to make it top-notch, the 8 global courses of Lions Club International, ranging from vision, environment, youth empowerment, skill acquisition, and other global courses programs of Lions Club International. All these things are going to be taken seriously and taken as the best way on how to grow the club.
The trouble with our world is not only a failure of leadership, but a failure of responsibility, personal responsibility. Everywhere we look, we see hunger, unemployment, insecurity, moral decay, and despair. The global economy trembles. Nations are divided. Even nature groans as forests burn, rivers dry, and climate change. Our world is not just needing change, it is crying for a change.
The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has advocated for more collaboration and investment in the eradication of neglected tropical diseases (NTDs) in the country. UNICEF Nigerian country representative Wafa Sahid stated this during a town hall meeting to assess the impact of its provided support to interrupt the NTDs in Faji Town, Odo-Tin local government area of Osun State. They commended them for upholding the hygienic standard and environmental sanitation in compliance with the agency's vision in combating neglected tropical diseases. And after getting a feedback from the residents in the community and a visit to their houses, the UNICEF officials emphasized that